Tipperarry was a 4-year-old when Elmer Wickham decided to break him to ride. Several neighbors helped Wickham corral a bunch of his horses, and Tipperarry, an unnamed colt at the time, was sorted out, caught, and halter broke. In a couple weeks he was turned over to a good local cowboy named Fred Wheat. It was 1909 when Wheat started the colt, but he only had him a short time when Tipperarry disappeared in a severe thunderstorm, and he was not caught for several years. It was April 1915 when Elmer Wickham brought the now 10-year-old horse to Camp Crook to meet Ed Marty, a local rancher and a good bronc rider, who said he could ride the horse. It was a fight to get Tipperarry saddled. One old cowboy said, "He won't buck. I've never seen a pacer that would buck." Ed Marty only lasted 3 or 4 jumps until he hit the ground on his hands and knees. As the crowd held their breath, Ed looked around and started singing a few lines of "It's a Long Way to Tipperarry." Since a bucking horse is of no use to Ed Wickham, he sold the horse to B.E. Doc Latham, the owner of the local Ford garage. Latham thought he could sell the horse to European or U.S. cavalry horse buyers, but when they saw Tipperarry was a pacer and had a bad disposition, they quickly rejected him. In December of 1915, Jack Ridgway, a saloon man at Camp Crook, bought half interest in Tipperarry. Early the next spring, 1916, Doc sold half of his share to Wesley Mex Griffith. Sometime later, they all sold their shares to Charlie Wilson. By 1920, Wilson claimed he had scientific methods of training a bucking horse. Wilson wanted his horse to be the most famous bucking horse of all time, so he arranged a match between Tipperarry and the well-known Yakima Canutt. The match was to be held in Belfort, South Dakota. Unfortunately, after 3 weeks of rain, the arena was full of deep mud. Wilson announced that Canutt would be the 83rd rider to try, and there had not been a qualified ride to this day. Tipperarry was not able to buck in the deep mud, and Canutt easily made a qualified ride. But it was not the first. Rufus Rowlands made a qualified ride and collected all bets on June 30th, 1916. Those who observed the attempted ride on the previous day claimed the great horse had made the best performance of his life. Then during the night, Tipperarry somehow cut his foot, which required special hoof care the rest of his life. To what degree the injured foot affected his performance is unknown.